Story 1. The Last Bus from Bhairav Ghat. People in Varanasi will tell you not to stay out too late near the old cremation grounds. Not because of crime, not because of wild animals, but because sometimes things don't leave when the fire dies. I didn't believe any of that. At least, not until the night I took the last bus from Bhairav Ghat. I was there for work, a small documentation project, photographing old rituals, interviewing locals, capturing what tourists never see. I had spent the whole day near the Ghats, watching the slow, rhythmic burn of funeral pyres. It was strange, but peaceful in a way, until it wasn't. By the time I packed up, it was past 11 p.m. The streets were empty, shops closed, even the stray dogs had disappeared. Only one bus was running that late, a rickety, half-broken thing locals called the Last Ride. It connected the Ghats to the main city road. I didn't have much choice. When it arrived, I noticed something odd. Eager to get on, the conductor stood at the door, staring at me in a way that felt wrong. Not hostile, not welcoming, just hollow. "Last bus," he said. I nodded and stepped in. There were maybe 8 or 9 passengers, all sitting quietly. No one talking, no phone screens glowing, no movement at all, just silence. The bus started moving with a loud groan. I took a seat near the back. That's when I noticed the smell: burnt wood, wet ash, and something else, something metallic, like blood. A few minutes passed. I tried to distract myself, scrolling through my phone, but there was no network. Then I heard it, a faint whisper, not from outside, from inside the bus. At first I thought it was just the engine noise, but then it got clearer, soft, broken, like someone speaking through smoke. I looked up. Everyone was still sitting still, too still. Then I noticed something that made my chest tighten. None of them were blinking. I stood up. "Bhaiya, where is this bus going?" I asked the conductor. He didn't answer. He just smiled, slowly, too slowly. And when he did, I saw something that didn't make sense. His lips moved, but his voice came from behind me. "Where you need to go, or where you belong." I turned. The man sitting behind me was now standing. I was sure he hadn't moved before. His clothes, they were damp. Dark patches spreading across his chest. Burn marks. His skin looked cracked, like charcoal. And his eyes, they weren't eyes anymore. Just hollow sockets filled with dim orange glow. I stumbled back. Now everyone was standing, all of them, facing me. The bus didn't stop. It didn't slow down. It felt like it wasn't even on a road anymore. Outside the windows, there was nothing. No buildings, no lights, just darkness and flickers of fire. One of them stepped closer. "I waited for my son," he said. Then another. No rituals, no prayers. Their voices overlapped. Dozens of whispers. Hundreds. Like the entire bus was breathing grief. I tried to scream, but my voice didn't come out. The conductor walked toward me, his face now clearer in the dim light. Half of it melted, as if it had burned and never healed. "This bus," he said calmly, "does not take the living." I don't remember how I got out. I only remember falling, hard, and waking up near the roadside at dawn. Locals found me and took me to a nearby tea stall. I left Varanasi the same day. I never went back. But even now, sometimes, late at night, when everything is silent, I hear it. A bus engine, struggling, burning, waiting. If you ever find yourself in, when I told them what happened, they went silent. One old man finally spoke. "You got lucky. There used to be a bus, years ago. It caught fire near Bhairav Ghat. I left Varanasi the same day. I never went back. But even now, sometimes, late at night, when everything is silent, I hear it. A bus engine, struggling, burning, waiting. If you ever find yourself near Bhairav Ghat after midnight and a nearly empty bus stops for you, don't get in, no matter how late you are, no matter how tired you feel, because some journeys don't end where you expect. They end where they need you to stay. Story 2. The Locked Room at Room 307. There's a hotel in Kolkata that doesn't show up on booking apps anymore. It used to, until too many guests started asking the same question. Why is room 307 always locked? I didn't go there for a ghost story. I went because it was cheap. Old colonial building, faded yellow walls, slow ceiling fans, the kind of place where the receptionist still uses a giant ledger instead of a computer. It felt harmless, almost nostalgic. Only one rule, the man at the front desk told me. Don't try to open room 307. He said it casually, like he was reminding me not to smoke indoors. I laughed. Why? Haunted? He didn't laugh back. Just don't. My room was 305, second floor, long corridor, dim lights that flickered every few seconds. Room 307 was 3 doors down, locked. A thick chain wrapped around the handle, old rusted padlock, and something strange smeared near the frame. Dark, uneven marks. Not quite anything I wanted to identify. The first night was normal, or at least it felt normal, until 2:17 a.m. That's when I heard the first knock. Not on my door, from inside 307. 3 knocks, slow, deliberate, then silence. I froze, listening. Maybe someone was inside. Maybe the staff used it as storage. Then it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. This time louder, closer. Like whoever or whatever was inside knew I was listening. I stepped out into the corridor. Bad decision. The air felt colder, heavy, like something was pressing down on my chest. I walked toward 307. Each step felt wrong, like I was being watched, not from outside, but from behind the door. The knocking stopped, completely. I stood there, staring at the lock, and then a voice, soft, almost polite. "Can you open the door?" I jumped back. "Who's inside?" I asked. No answer. Then again, the same voice. "Cal, away. I know that now." But curiosity is a dangerous thing when it meets silence. I leaned closer. "There's a lock," I said. "I can't open it." The voice paused. Then it changed, not louder, just different. "Then come inside." The handle moved, slowly, even though it was chained. The metal creaked, the lock rattled, and for a moment, I swear, the door breathed. I ran back to my room, locked it, didn't sleep. Morning came. Everything felt normal again. Too normal. I went downstairs. "Someone's inside 307, I told the receptionist. He didn't look surprised. "How long were you standing outside?" he asked. I frowned. "Maybe a minute?" He nodded slowly. "That's too long." He told me the story. Years ago, a guest stayed in 307, a writer. He locked himself inside for days. No room service, no calls, nothing. When staff finally forced the door open, they found the room empty, written all over the walls. Hundreds of lines. Same sentence, over and over. It asked me to let it out. After that, guests began hearing knocks, voices, requests, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing. They sealed the room, locked it permanently. "Then how does it speak?" I asked. The receptionist looked at me, tired, like he had answered this too many times. "It doesn't need the door open," he said. "It just needs someone to listen." I checked out that same day. Didn't even argue about the refund. But something followed me. Not physically, not something I can prove. Just a memory that doesn't behave like a memory. because sometimes, late at night, at exactly 2:17 a.m., I hear it again. 3 knocks, not from outside, from inside my room. And last night, for the first time, it didn't ask me to open the door. Story 3. The Voice in the Well. There's a village on the edge of Rajasthan where the land looks like it has forgotten water ever existed. Dry soil, cracked earth, wind that carries dust instead of air. But in the center of that village, there is a well that is never dry. I went there chasing a story. Locals called it the listening well. They said if you spoke into it at night, something answered back. Not an echo, not your own voice, something else. The well stood behind an abandoned temple, old stone, broken carvings, a place people avoided after sunset. During the day, it looked ordinary, a deep circular shaft lined with ancient bricks. No smell, no sound, just darkness. But the villagers wouldn't go near it after dusk. Not even children, not even the drunk ones. An old man finally agreed to talk to me. "You can go," he said, "but don't stay long." "What happens if I do?" I asked. He looked at me like I had. I went anyway. By the time I reached the well, the sky had turned black. No streetlights, no electricity, just moonlight stretching thin over the sand. The air felt still, too still, like the entire place was waiting. I stood at the edge and looked down. Nothing. No reflection, no bottom. Just darkness that didn't feel empty. I laughed a little, trying to shake the feeling. "Hello?" I called out. My voice dropped into the well and disappeared. No echo, no bounce, just gone. Then something came back. "Hello?" Same word, same tone, same voice. Mine, but not delayed, not distorted. Perfect, immediate. My throat went dry. "Who's there?" I asked. Silence. Then, "Who's there?" I stepped back. This wasn't echo. Echoes don't ask questions. I tried again, forcing calm into my voice. "This isn't funny." A pause, longer this time. Then, "You're not funny." I turned to leave. That's when it spoke again. Not repeating, not mimicking, something new. "Stay." I froze. The word didn't come from below. It felt like it came from inside my head. I walked faster, didn't run, just steady steps, trying not to show fear. "Why are you leaving?" Now it sounded closer. Not louder, closer. I didn't answer. "You came to talk." My footsteps stopped without me deciding to stop. That's when I realized I couldn't hear the wind anymore. No insects, no night sounds, just that voice. "Talk to me." Slowly, I turned back. The well looked the same, but it didn't feel the same. Something had changed. Not outside, inside me. I stepped closer again. One step, then another. Like I was remembering how to move instead of choosing it. "What are you?" I whispered. Silence. For a moment, I thought it had stopped, that it was over. Then, very softly, like it wasn't solid anymore, like it was pulling. I looked down, and for the first time, I saw something inside the well. Not water, not stone. Faces, dozens of them, layered, faded, like reflections that couldn't escape. Eyes open, mouths moving, but no sound coming out. And one of them looked exactly like me. It smiled before I did. I don't remember leaving. I don't remember how I got back to the village. But I remember what the old man said when he saw me. He didn't ask what happened. He just looked into my eyes, long, careful. Then he whispered, "Did it answer, or did it keep you?" I left Rajasthan the next morning. Didn't stay to investigate. Didn't take photos. Didn't go back. But something is wrong. Sometimes, when I speak, there's a delay. Not outside, inside. Like my voice is being repeated before I say it. And last night, for the first time, I hear. Story 4. The Call That Came Tomorrow. In Mumbai, the nights don't really get quiet. There's always something. Traffic, distant horns, a late train rattling through the dark. You get used to it. That's why I noticed the silence first. It was 3:08 a.m. My phone lit up on the table. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. "Hello?" I said, my voice still heavy with sleep. For a second there was nothing. Then breathing, shallow, uneven, like someone trying not to panic. "Hello? Who is this?" A pause, and then my voice answered. "Don't go tomorrow." I sat up straight. "What?" "Don't go tomorrow," it repeated. Same tone, same accent, same everything. "This isn't funny," I said, my throat tightening. "Who is this?" "You won't believe me anyway." There was something in the way it said that. Not mocking, not playful, just tired. "Then try me," I said. Another pause, longer this time. "Have much time," it said. "Listen carefully." The line crackled, like a bad connection. "Tomorrow, 11:40 a.m. You're going to take the flyover near Sion. Don't." My mouth went dry. I drove that route every day, same time, same road. "You think this is a prank?" it said quietly. I did too. Something in me shifted, just slightly, enough to listen. "What happens?" I asked. A breath, sharp, broken. A truck loses control. Static filled the line for a moment. Then, it doesn't stop. My heart was pounding now. "This is ridiculous," I said, but it didn't sound convincing anymore. "Check the time," it said. I glanced at my phone. 3:12 a.m. "Tomorrow," it continued, "you'll get this call at 3:08 a.m. My stomach dropped. "You'll think it's fake," it said. "You'll go anyway." The line crackled harder now. The voice, my voice, sounded weaker. I didn't listen either. Silence. Heavy. Final. "Yeah." He showed me the news. Twisted metal. Broken glass. Crowds gathering. And then, a detail that made my hands go cold. "They're still identifying one of the victims," he said. "Phone was completely destroyed, but the SIM card survived." I couldn't breathe. "Call records show something weird," he added. "Last call was made at 3:08 a.m. to a number that belongs to..." I didn't let him finish. I already knew. That night, I didn't answer my phone. But at exactly 3:08 a.m., it rang. Same unknown number. I stared at it. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. It kept ringing. And just before it stopped, a message appeared on my screen. "Voicemail received." I didn't open it. I still haven't. Because I know what it will say. And I'm not sure if this time it's asking me to avoid something or to complete it. Story 5. The Mirror That Blinked First. There's an old apartment block in Delhi where the rent is always low and the turnover is always high. People don't stay long. Not because of noise, not because of neighbors, but because of one thing every flat has in common: the mirror in the bedroom. I moved there because I needed something cheap and immediate. No questions asked. Cash deposit. Ready keys. The landlord didn't bother showing me around, just handed over the key and said, "Don't cover the mirror." I laughed. Why would I? He didn't answer, just walked away. The mirror was already there when I entered. Tall, narrow, slightly old, mounted to the wall opposite the bed. It looked normal, too normal. The first night, nothing happened. Second night, nothing. By the third night, I had forgotten about the warning, until I noticed something small. Something so minor, it didn't make sense to feel afraid. Late. I froze, stared at myself, waited. Nothing. I moved my hand. The reflection followed perfectly. I leaned closer. Same. Normal. "Just tired," I whispered. But that night, I couldn't stop watching it. Around 2 a.m., I turned off the lights. The room fell into darkness, except for the faint streetlight leaking through the curtains. Just enough to see shapes, just enough to see the mirror. I don't know why I looked. I wish I hadn't, because in the dim reflection, I could see myself standing. But I was lying on the bed. My heart slammed against my chest. I didn't move, didn't breathe. The reflection didn't move either. It just stood there, looking at me. Then, slowly, it smiled. I don't remember falling asleep. I don't remember closing my eyes. Morning came like nothing happened. Sunlight, noise, normal life. I told myself it was a dream. It had to be, until I brushed staring at my own face. And then, without me doing anything, my reflection raised its hand and wiped its mouth clean. I dropped the toothbrush, stepped back. The reflection stayed still now, matching me again, perfectly, like nothing happened. That's when I noticed something worse. There was a faint mark on the mirror, at neck level, like a smudge or a fingerprint, but it wasn't on the surface. It looked like it was inside the glass. That night, I tried covering it with a cloth, just to sleep, just to feel normal. At 1:43 a.m., I woke up. The cloth was on the floor, the mirror was uncovered, and I was standing in front of it. I don't remember getting out of bed, but I remember what I saw. The reflection wasn't copying me anymore. It was breathing independently, slow, calm, and I wasn't moving at all. I tried to step back, couldn't. Then it spoke. My vision blurred. The room felt distant, like I was being pulled away from it. Your life, it continued, your face, your voice. It smiled again, wider this time. I can do it better. I tried to scream. Nothing came out. Everything went dark. When I woke up, I was on the bed. Morning light, same room, same mirror. Everything felt normal. Too normal. I got up, walked to the mirror, looked at myself. Perfect reflection, perfect sync. I smiled. And this time, I made sure to blink after it did. The landlord hasn't heard any complaints since. The flat is still occupied. The mirror is still there. And if you ever visit that apartment in Delhi and you feel like your reflection is just slightly ahead of you, leave immediately. Because once it learns you well enough, you won't be the one living there anymore.